And we're live. Hey, Peeps, it's your girl K-Cee Deeva here. Welcome to another edition of Northwest Nightcap with your girl K-Cee Deeva and her Peeps. I'm so excited to be here. We've got a fun show for you today. And I'm even more excited about our special guest host that we have on today. Um, Hey, we do this once a month. If you're wondering where we've been, we announced on the first show. This is the second show, okay? Show number two. We do this once a month, and the whole idea of the show is to catch you up on, all the events, all the entertainment news that you might have missed. I mean, we've had a whole lot going on, and I mean a whole lot going on in the last few months. So it's hard for people to keep up, right? We just need to take a break. I don't know about you, but I need a break, especially tonight, from all the craziness going on, all the waiting, all the anticipation of the election. So that's what we're gonna do. All right. So thanks for joining me tonight. You see this beautiful couple to my right, your left. Well, I'm going to introduce Miss Princess Robin, who is my homegirl, my sister, Princess. Good to see you as usual. You were on the last show. Back again. And this time you have a handsome gentleman next to you. Who is
me.
Mr. KC Clayton. Welcome to the show.
Also,
AKA Princess Robin's husband, aka K-Cee from Funk Shun, legendary R&B group. If you've been living under a rock the last, I don't know how many years and don't know who they are, look it up. Okay, because you should know who they are. Welcome to the show, K-Cee.
Thank you for having me, Diva.
And Princess, always good to see you, as always, looking lovely and very royal.
Thank you. Trying to keep up with you, Diva.
Oh, please. Well, all right. Now we're waiting for one more of our co-hosts to join me, Mr. Anthony Adams, having a little bit of technical difficulties, which happens with these live shows. So he'll join us at any moment, but we're going to go ahead and dive in because the time always goes by so quickly. But before we do, I'm going to follow my sis and her tradition. And we're going to grab our glass here because this is Nightcap. All right. And we're going to click our neighbor. I don't have a neighbor here, but I click y'all virtually. Take a sip.
You.
Oh, hit the spot. Because we have some stuff to talk about tonight. All right. So let's go ahead and dive in. Now, before we get into the real entertainment topics, I'd be remiss if I didn't at least acknowledge what is currently going on in current events. And that is the big election, the presidential election. I know you.
What it's my move. How are you gonna die like that?
I know it's. I know. I feel you. Okay, I think Anthony's joining us, so let's go ahead and let him on.
Hey,
there he is.
Hey, y'all.
About
hey, hang on 1 second. Let me get my headphones.
Okay, really? And now he gets up. Okay, first you're late. Look, you know how we do. But that's okay. I'm gonna let him pass this time. First he's late. Now he's gotta go get his headphones. We'll let him get settled in. K-Cee, Robin, how are you all feeling? I'm finding myself very emotional right about now. I don't know really how to describe how I'm feeling. It's like a weird roller coaster, and the anticipation and the checking the news feeds every few minutes. How is it in Memphis for you all?
I think what I would say about it is it's super emotional. It's like there's not a lot of like real updates quickly, right? We
right.
see what trends are, but I can't unglue myself from the TV. But what's hard for me, I think, is that it's this close. That's hard for me. And it says to me something about the country that I don't want to have to acknowledge.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. And I'm just trying to process that.
Right.
I feel like, whatever the outcome, the country has said a lot by it being such a close race.
Agree 100% with that, Princess. K-Cee, what are your thoughts so far?
Well, I always try to tell, Robin to look at things half full, glass half full. Half full. And with that being said, it's more so it's a positive because first of all, people showed up. Showed up in numbers. They
Right.
instructions. On top of that, they were doing it and they were doing it safely. Early voting was like at an all-time high, you know, and I think, you know, that's what caught Republicans off guard.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they weren't expecting these numbers to be like that. And Robin's, I guess, you know, celebrity crush Van
Jones.
Van Jones.
Van Jones.
You know,
I love that beautiful smart man.
Yeah, and he said it best
After
because
but good save, Princess. Good save.
Because he was saying how Black people and people of color really made the difference in this election. Everybody showed up, and even if it took long, you know, because in like certain like my son or our son, oldest son, they live in Mississippi. They don't have early voting. They have to do it all the day up.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they have to mail-in ballots. There's none of that. They do early voting.
What?
Yeah, so they got out there. They got in the lines, you know, and that lets you know how serious this thing has been. Because, with, you know, all the other situations, you know, the Black Lives Matter and all these situations that kind of fueled this whole thing. So I look at, you know, the glass half full. Because it's like right here, you know, like we're right here, you know, to see change in our lifetime again, and actually another first, because now we're getting ready to have the first woman of color to be vice president, which is, you know,
yes, click your neighbor.
Yeah.
Absolutely, real talk, K-Cee. Anthony, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Can you hear me?
Hey, how y'all doing? Sorry, I was late. Can you guys hear me?
Move your camera a little bit. You're kind of half off the screen. Just slightly.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna. Sorry.
There we go. Perfect. Right there.
All right. I may have to do what I did last time, which is log in on my laptop while we're doing what I did. But I'll do that in a second. So
okay. First
anyway,
off, okay. First things again. So we're just talking thoughts. Any initial thoughts on the election so far? How everybody's doing? Checking in, and what are your thoughts so far?
I'm just leaning into the uncertainty. Trying to keep the faith. Not getting hopes up too high. I knew this was going to happen, as in terms of us getting, you know, not knowing on election night. They've been saying that for weeks. I didn't realize that mail-in ballots will cause an election to, you know, be delayed. Essentially, results to be delayed. So, sorry, trying to get on camera here, right? But yeah, I mean, I'm fine though. Otherwise.
Okay. Yeah, you know, it remains to be seen. I like K-Cee's thinking, you know, glass half full. I'm just anxious for it to be over. I just want to hear the final announcement. I feel like I'm holding my breath, waiting to exhale. So, you know, we'll just keep waiting. We'll keep waiting. But again, that's why we're doing the show today. If you're just tuning in, this is Northwest Nightcap, K-Cee Deeva, Princess Robin, K-Cee from Funk Shun, her hubby as well, and Anthony Adams. My peeps, we're sitting here. We're going to talk some entertainment. We're going to take you out of the realm of elections and politics for just the rest of the hour. So just bear with us. And we're going to catch you up on some stories that happened this past month, because as I was saying earlier when we first got on, so much has gone on. You know, there's so much in the news and so much with the pandemic, and we've got parents who are now homeschooling, and you know, schedules and lives have just been turned upside down. So we're gonna take you out of that room for just a little bit and talk about some celebrity stuff. All right. Now I will say just a little bit of politics, because one of my stories has to do with these rappers that we've seen endorsing our current president. And a lot of people have some feelings about it, you know. So we've got Lil Wayne, who came out, I think, the day before yesterday, you know, he was in his red, white, and blue, and his, you know, Oxford looking sweater, and
Get out of here.
normal persona that
Out
we
of
see
here.
him. 50 Cent as well. And then also Ice Cube, right? Ice Cube trying to negotiate, trying to be the voice for the Black people, I guess. And then Little Pump, I guess is I don't know. Okay, he's new to me. I don't know who that is.
Who was that, Diva? Who was the last one?
His name is Little Pump. I guess he's
Little Pump.
Yeah. K-Cee's in the biz, so he's probably feeling. I just heard him the other day. I was like, I feel so old. I don't know half these people now. I know Lil Wayne and Ice Cube and 50, of course, but beyond that, you know, I have no idea. Anyway, Lil Pump, who, by the way, was called Little Pimp when he went on stage with the president. Anyway, you know, they're not ashamed to say they're endorsing. They're trying to have conversations and so on and so on. But a lot of people, you know, Black folks especially, are very upset about this and disappointed and like, whoa, wait a minute. You've seen what's happened the last 4 years and you're actually endorsing this guy? Like, what is going on? Well, as I read a little bit further, a lot of it has to do with, you know, if Biden gets into office, them being in the money sign. We need like ching little sound effect. It's all about the money, right? It always is. So, K-Cee, I'll start with you. You know, you're in the biz. You know, what are some of your thoughts on that? I mean, is it a case of, hey, you know what? Politically, if that's who they choose, I mean, what's the big deal kind of thing? Or do you think it's, you know, kind of for their own gain or own promotion kind of thing? I mean, I don't know what to think, honestly.
No, I think it's kind of several situations. Number one, Lil Wayne and 50 Cent, they totally came, and Lil Pump, they totally came out and endorsed Trump. Ice Cube never endorsed him. He clearly said, look, I'm just trying to present a plan to whoever is going to be in office, trying to help, you know, the Black community. But what happened was his plan is called Contract with, you know, with Black America. But Trump, like always, 45, I never really called him 45.
45,
like always, he tried to make it what he wanted to make it. So he changed it and called it the platinum. You know, thinking, oh, well, you know, Black people, you know, we're the whole stereotype. But we call it the platinum plan because, you know, like platinum card, something like that. So I understand where Ice Cube, because his thing is presented to the Biden-Harris campaign. They said, let's get together after. And then when he presented to the Trump people, of course, not understanding the dynamics, they were like, yes, because we all know that Trump's whole thing is let's get a photo op.
Yeah.
Now on the flip side of that, Lil Wayne and that situation is totally about money. That situation, in my opinion, is about they're getting theirs and they don't care about anything else. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
And Lil Wayne actually said this much even in a 60-minute piece. I don't know if you saw that. It was like a while ago.
I remember that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's like, don't bring me that Black Lives Matter and all this. Like, that ain't got nothing to do with me and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's clearly about, and actually it has to do with you because Lil Wayne, if anyone knows his history, he was a victim. You know, he was shot when he was a kid.
Yeah.
So in New Orleans,
I remember that.
You know, he was out in the streets like that. You know, so it's like it had, but sometimes we have to make sure that we understand we can't forget where we come from.
Exactly.
Same time,
and it feels like he did.
Yeah, but you have a right. Even then, you still have a right to endorse. You clearly have a right, and but that doesn't mean that I also will, you know, continue to buy your records or continue to support, you know, your efforts because clearly your situation is not in line with what I'm about. So,
right.
So if boycott, because at any given time, just like they have their rights, we have our rights. you want to do that? We have a right to not to buy your country.
To not support you. Exactly. No, you're right on. And AC Soul, hey, shout out, baby bro. He says they are millionaires, so they're protecting their money. Exactly what K-Cee just said. So yeah, Princess, thoughts on that?
In addition to what K-Cee said, I think it kind of goes back to what I said in the beginning. I'm disappointed because what it demonstrates is individual gain. This is the moment that shows who cares more about personal gain versus a greater good. And I was talking to a friend about this earlier, and it's like the sooner we understand the interconnectedness, the intersections, and how interdependent we are as communities, as different socioeconomic groups, races, genders, when we understand our interconnectedness, there will be a shift. But until then, it's all about this individualism, and it's all about me getting mine. And I think how do you ignore how deep the messages have been about the hatred for our communities and all the other things we stand for when it just comes down to your checkbook? Now,
Right.
I like money as much as the next guy. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely want my money, but I also want my self-respect, my dignity. I want my community to be safe. I want people to, collectively be able to come up. And if I'm all about, I don't care about anything else, it's just about my checkbook,
right,
my bank account, I don't respect that. So that's my personal opinion.
It's all about the come up, and I think they've shown that. Now with Ice Cube, again, maybe he does have good intentions, again, I feel like they're being used in a sense. You know what I mean? We know that 45 is looking at this oh, okay, maybe this will help me get the black vote. It's the photo op, right? I'm taking pictures. They're on the front page of the news, and Anthony, thoughts?
Well, let me say I'm all for you choosing whoever it is you choose to vote for, but just stand by it. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. If you want to meet with the guy, that's fine, but make sure that you are actually getting something done. Don't just be the photo op. Make sure you have a seat at the table. Don't just be on the menu. And Donald Trump has a history of doing this. T.I. said it best. You'll meet with, D.L. Hughley said it best. You'll meet with comedians, rappers, and athletes. Maybe that's how you see us as, when we're more than just that. As far as Lil Wayne goes, I never really rocked with Lil Wayne, so I could care less who he supports. Same thing as Lil Pump. I'm clearly way out of that generation. As far as the Ice Cube thing goes, K-Cee was saying that people got it misconstrued, and I blame the Trump administration for this because all he simply did was put it out there that he wanted to meet with both sides. Now he can't help who wants to reach out to him and say, "Hey, we'll work with you." Understandably, the Biden campaign said, "Hey, we got to wait for this after the election, then we can work with you on this because they're in no position of power." Meanwhile, Donald Trump's team is like, "Oh, we'll meet with you for photo op," and we'll say,
right.
And then they put out the tweet saying, "Thank you, Ice Cube, for your support," which led many people to believe that he was supporting Donald Trump. And Ice Cube has come out and said, I haven't supported either candidate. And unfortunately, we took that out of context and we ran with it. But also, so shame on people for doing that. Shame on Trump's administration for putting that out there. And, that was a reach. That was a very big reach.
It's too bad because people actually, they believe. There's a lot of people out there that don't do the research. Whatever, somebody says that they're following, whatever, they're going to believe that. So, we got a lot of that going on, which is too bad as well.
Yeah, but that's what the Trump administration was hoping, because a lot of because it's it's well documented, and I think James Baldwin or someone said it years ago, if you want to keep something from a black person, put it in a book, research. And a lot of times we're all about the quick headline.
Yeah.
Ice Cube endorsed Trump. That's all it. And so next thing you know, like Anthony was saying, everybody just jumped on Ice Cube, never heard his side.
Right.
All they saw was the photo, not realizing, well, no, he took a meeting. He presented a plan. said, listen, I want this, whoever's in charge, this is what I'm just saying, you got to start thinking about the Black community, as a general, as a reasonable situation. And they took it and ran with it, but also, we took it and ran with it.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't condemn Ice Cube in any kind of way for doing what he felt he needed to do because it hadn't been done.
All right. Well, let's move on. Let's get off of politics altogether.
Thank you.
And let's do our neighbor one more time, because this whole topic. I just get stressed out anytime we're talking about this darn election. But cheers. All right. So if you got a nightcap with you, cheers to you too. All right, we're gonna move on. Again, we're catching you up on some of the stories that happened in the last, 30 days that you might have missed. So, you're probably familiar with Jenny Mai, who is one of the hosts on The Real. She is engaged to be married very soon, and to Jeezy. Yeah, I don't even. I get tongue tied because I see them and I'm like, it's an interesting couple. Okay, so she actually got some backlash a few weeks ago. She's 41. I didn't realize she was 41. I thought she was a lot younger.
I didn't know that.
She's 41. Yeah, I had no clue.
I only figured out who she was.
Right.
Holy moly. Yeah.
Well, apparently, Jenny has said that, once she gets married, now she says that she's a businesswoman. She, is in charge of a lot, strong woman, boss type of a woman. But when it comes to being married and being at home with her man, she has no problem being submissive. And of course, a lot of women were like, women don't like to hear that word submissive. Okay, it's kind of like nails on a chalkboard for some of us. So I'm just going to read her quote directly. She said, so I'm going to say that it's right here. I, Jenny Mai, going into my marriage, I want to submit to my man. She said, let me explain. When I hear this definition, submitting has a negative connotation. It means that you're less important, you're lower than the person you are submitting to. It usually can be like, referenced as somebody who works lower than you. And that's not what I'm referring to here. I'm a very dominant woman and make decisions in my work life. So at home, I want to let my man lead. Princess, let's start with you. What are your thoughts on, how...
Don't do it, Jenny. Run. Oh, I'm kidding. I'm mostly. So, my thoughts, and you said a really important thing there, Diva, and that's that submission is a tough word. That's a really tough word to digest. And this actually came up in a conversation we recently had on Traveler's Guide. I've been thinking a lot about it. And it came up in context of spirituality and relationships when it came up in our conversation. And, the participants in that conversation had a lot of the same things to say about the concept as she did when, she said, let me explain what I mean. I had a lot of respect for the concept. As a 3-time swinger in this marriage.
Hold on now. Hold on.
You got a winner. You got a winner now.
I think I would have to put with that a very serious caveat, and it would be with a partner who you can trust.
Yes.
I really cannot imagine putting that kind of faith or just following someone who will mislead you and requires the most immense amount of trust, and your partner really has to be trustworthy. That being said, I've heard people say it really works for them, and the way that it's described by people who say more about it, I can say that I see maybe some of that play out in our marriage to some extent, but it doesn't feel like submission to me at all. I would never say that I submit to my husband,
right?
Because we have a level of mutual respect that I have not necessarily experienced in other relationships, that I don't experience it in as I interpret the word submission. I don't know if that makes sense. That
makes perfect sense.
Hard word, but
it's a hard word. It's the word choice. Yeah, it's the word choice, and I think you're right. I think the context, you know, when I actually saw the video clip where she was, you know, talking about it, and I had to rewind it and listen to it again, because that initial kind of, wait, what, you know, and I'm like, okay, I see what she's saying, you know, and there were some women that said, no, yeah, I agree with that, you know, maybe I wouldn't use the word submit, you know, but seeing the man as the lead, the head of the household. She also goes on to say that doesn't mean, in this case, Jay makes all the decisions for us. Doesn't mean that when he says how we spend our money or we're moving, I just say, yes, sir, yes, your honor. Like, it's not like that.
Right.
So, you know, with her saying that, it's like, okay, I kind of see what she's saying. Me personally, I would use a different choice of words. You know, Anthony, what are your thoughts on that? Should a woman submit to her husband?
Well, I blame the whole book and the movie 50 Shades of Grey for making the word submissive a bad term. You know, and what people have to understand is that submissive does not mean slave, okay? It doesn't mean that. It means that, you know, the husband just leads. And, you know, I think of like my parents' marriage where my mom is submissive to my dad, where my mom still gets a say and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's like if my dad comes in and says, no, we're not going to do this, my mom's like, all right, then we're not going to do this. And then, you know, so I think, you know, it's important for, you know, for there to be also good communication and understanding, and also people understanding the fact that submissive does not mean slave. It just means you're trusting somebody with the final decision and the say so, and know they have your best interests.
AC Soul says, careful, Anthony, laugh out loud. Don't get in trouble. Yeah, because you had a long
Well,
pause.
I mean, I referenced my parents' marriage and
yeah, I see that too. You know, I think marriages like before us, you know, our parents, you know, again, I wouldn't say the women were submissive, but the husband did lead more and did say more of the decisions. Whereas now I know families where that's reversed, you know, where the woman is kind of like the breadwinner and making the decisions, and you know, the husband's, you know, doing traditional, more like wifely duties kind of thing. KC, what are your thoughts on this? The whole submission piece.
Well, I totally understood where she was coming from, because, like, I mean, and like Anthony said, soon as she said submissive, you know, submit or submissive, everybody just threw the red flag up. Not really, once again, not really knowing what the true meaning of that is. It's just like there are times the husband could be submissive, because it's like if I'm asking Robin her opinion, then guess what? I'm not, you know, it's like I take her opinion, you know, to heart.
No.
I would just be doing me. So, but marriage is a partnership, and that's the most important thing. And as a partnership,
yes,
and as a partnership, sometimes you play off each other's strengths. So if I know that she's stronger in certain areas, then I'm gonna defer to her, and vice versa. You know, but even then, like Anthony said, it's about communication. And what Jenny was saying is, she has her own business. She does a lot of things, and she doesn't want to always, you know, it's like that's out in the world. And when she comes home, she want to be able to take those hats off. And so, doesn't mean that she's just totally like doing it. She just said, listen, there's sometimes I don't want to always have to make a decision.
Right.
That's all she was saying. You know, but once again, people will always read the headline and never read
Right. Exactly. They take it and run with it.
Oh yeah, oh she gonna be submissive to Jesus. No,
right. Maybe because it's Jeezy. Here's my thing. I don't, maybe not announce it like, I don't know, maybe see how it goes, right? Because you get married and who knows? I mean, things could be different. Like I like what Princess said earlier. It's kind of a trust thing, right? I mean, you get to know your partner, whether or not you feel comfortable relinquishing control, being submissive, whatever you want to call it. You have to have that trust factor there that they're not going to kind of take advantage of that role or what have you.
It'd be there if you say you're gonna get married. She didn't say that they're dating; they're getting ready to get married.
So, they're getting married. That's true. That's true. Me personally, I didn't understand like the reason for announcing it, but maybe she wanted to make headlines. I don't know, but.
But I think the word submission and don't get me to lying, but isn't that a biblical term? Yeah. Isn't that where it comes from?
It's basically,
and so
it is, yeah. Wives be submissive to your husband, husbands,
right.
B.O.B. So that's basically, if you're trying to follow the word of God, that's all she was saying.
Yeah.
And Deeva, I really like the way you phrased it when you said relinquish control. The word is control. Mm-hmm. And there really shouldn't be a control factor, I think, in a healthy marriage. It's not about, I got to maintain this control over this one. And mm-hmm. because I can trust my husband, I don't think he's trying to control me. And I should feel comfortable not feeling like I have to be in control. The word control is not a
right.
word for a good relationship, right? So I like the way you put that.
Yes, I gotta go back to Anthony though, because this whole analogy with 50 Shades of Grey. Now, I wasn't gonna let that slide.
You stepped in it, Anthony. You stepped in it.
Well, I mean, he had her sign that contract agreeing to where she be a submissive.
I mean, right, but that wasn't. But that wasn't a negative thing. I mean, maybe for some people, but I mean, it got, it was a popular movie, book, series.
But I don't know where it's coming from though, because a lot of people. No, what I'm saying, a lot of people. No, what he's saying is a lot of people took that image, and that's what they think about when they hear submissive.
Ah, okay.
That's what. I got your back, Anthony. I got
you.
Where you at? K-Cee, a warning as well.
No, we're not saying that that's what you're supposed to be doing. That movie put that image out there. That's what it's supposed to be.
Okay.
Well, yeah. All right. Well, let's leave Jenny, Mai, and Jeezy. I wish them the best, and they do what they do. Okay, let's move on. Now, this story actually cracked me up. Jennifer Lopez, J-Lo, whichever name she prefers to go by. So she put out this song, and she calls herself a Black girl from the Bronx, but she says it in Spanish. She says negrita. Negrita. Is that how you say it? I don't know how to read my R's.
I think so.
Yeah. Negrita. And people, the internet, of course, again, grabbed the headline. Oh, they go buck wild and went crazy. And it's like, she's calling herself, a Black girl, whatever. So, I mean, honestly, I didn't see the big deal. I mean, she's actually like made a reference in a song a while back. I don't know if you remember. It was what was the song with
it was the I'm Real remix.
With Ja Rule, right?
Great. It was I'm Real.
Yeah, she uses the N-word. This is my, and people kind of went buck wild about that, whatever. So, I mean, this is nothing new for her. So it didn't really surprise me. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I just wasn't shocked because, I mean, she dated Puffy, I think she sees herself as part of the Black community. whether or not, you know, we've accepted her or not, I'm not really sure. I don't know. What do you think, Anthony?
Well, that's a good question. So, yeah, to quote Paul Mooney when he was asked this question about her using the N-word, she's Puerto Rican, right? I thought they were black folks that could just swim good. No, I mean,
so you're saying she's one of us?
Well, no, I'm not saying that. That was what Paul Mooney said. I always bring it up. No, okay. So here's the thing that we have to remember, and I'm learning this. Spanish words, they have multiple meanings. Mm-hmm. So that word particularly might mean black girl, but it also means like goddess, beautiful, etc. From what I've looked up. So, you know, it maybe, so I think what it was is maybe some people looked it up online and said, okay, she's saying black girl, but because that's what they associate the word with, but also fail to realize the word actually has multiple meanings. So, I mean, I don't really care for her saying that, you know, for her referring to herself as that. But at the end of the day, you just have to understand that when you sing in Spanish, when you speak in Spanish, the words you're saying, they do have multiple meanings. So that's kind of the pass I give her on that particular song. Yeah,
I think we know what she meant, though. I think she meant negrita as in she think, you know, because she's around black culture. She's familiar with black culture. I mean, she's a dancer. Even the article was talking about like how, you know, with Hispanic culture, you know, black culture, you know,
it's very parallel.
Yeah, there's a lot of parallels, you know. K-Cee, what do you think?
I think
negrita.
Yes and no, because like I said, once again, it has multiple meanings. And another thing is we got to stop as people of color. We got to stop, you know, accepting, then not accepting people. 1 minute she cool. 1 minute she's our girl.
Yeah.
In color, oh, she was a sister. You see what I'm saying? You know, when she first started out, oh, she was a sister. When she was with Puffy, like you said, she was a sister. And now that she's gotten more in touch with her, you know, her Latin side, you know, then all of a sudden, oh no, you know, and then she wants to come back and do something else. She's still been the same person the whole time. So we got to stop, you know, getting offended because, like I said, we ain't had no problem when she said it with Ja Rule.
I thought we did, though, didn't we?
People did.
Some people raised the eyebrow, but not.
I remember it being a topic of discussion.
It was a topic, but it didn't end her career.
No, not at all.
No.
So point. Thing is just that, but it's like when it's convenient, we will accept or not accept. And
that's what I'm saying, yeah.
And that's one thing, and like Anthony was saying, because the true word, and we were talking about this the other day, you know, and the true word, you know, Niger, not two G's, but actually means king. And that's where all of it came from. But through colonization and all that, they tried to they spun it to make it something negative because they were like, oh, that's so, because they would go out and say, well, okay, well, who's in charge? And we would say, oh, you know, that's the you mean the Niger. That's the Niger over there. So, but what the colonizer would do, they would try to say, like if I got a problem with you, I say diva.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're saying the exact same thing, but I'm putting it to where I'm trying to make it an insult to you.
Exactly.
In the years, it became something that was insulting. You know, they started putting a little twist to it. But
it goes back to that whole Willie Lynch syndrome, right? Like, you know, once again, making us turn on each other and hate ourselves and our skin color, and you know,
many layers of melanin.
Yes. Yeah.
Many layers.
Exactly. Princess. Okay, so as a Black woman, you know, does that bother you at all? That she, you know, seems like, I mean, you know, I'm alleging just based on, you know, kind of what we've seen and the people she's dated and how she talks and things she said in songs, that she considers herself one of us. Are
So
you okay with that, or do you care?
Agree with hubby for 1 second.
That's cool.
I lean more with Anthony's logic, and I used to pride myself on being a great Spanish speaker, but long story, you'll hear it someday. But the point being, it's like, I can stomach it if I put it in terms of her speaking to her place in a Puerto Rican community. I have never seen her as a sister. When she was on Living Color, when she was dating Puffy, when she was with her, I saw her as a Puerto Rican woman. I think she has always been in touch with her Latin roots. Now, what do you know about the Puerto Rican community? Very little, but I also know that they have different language and different, ways that they speak. Like I'm thinking back to, you remember, Don't Want to Be a Player, and that part, Boricua Morena. It's like the little bit of Spanish I know, Morena would be more the word that we would speak. But there are these colorization within your community. It happens in the Latin community. It happens in all communities. There's between the darker hued and lighter hued people. And that might be very relevant in the Puerto Rican community, what she's saying. Now, if she tried to cross that over and say, I'm a black girl,
right?
No. That's absolutely hard pass. No,
but I think that's
hard pass.
But that's what it goes back to is because, like you said, the first thing she sung it in what? She sung it in Spanish.
It's Spanish, yeah.
So once again, she's singing it. So she's basically relating it. Now, if she had tried to say this in English, it'll be taken a totally different way. But so she can have the exact same argument that we say. Oh, this is just how we talk to each other. You know what I'm saying?
And it might mean absolutely
that's true.
Nothing, but
It's like it's just like we say it all the time in all of our songs, and it's cool because we say, well, we can say it.
It's not cool.
Well, I'm just saying overall, a lot of times, we use it, and we say, well, we can use it because it's our word. We can we talk in our community. And so she may be saying, look, well, I did it in Spanish because this is how I know you want to do it. But it goes back to because if this is how they talk in their community, we can't, fault her for that.
Right.
We do the same thing.
I'm just gonna say this,
in the scenario I'm describing, they're not even the same situation. I'm saying if she's using a descriptor different than trying to a term of endearment or whatever, I'm not even saying that.
Yeah, I hear what Anthony is saying. I hear what KC is saying about it having several meanings or whatever. But at the end of the day, I feel like, we know what she was, she feels comfortable. I think she feels comfortable enough with our culture. I mean, there was a whole thing like, oh, she's got a big butt and da-da-da-da. And I'm like, I'm looking going, no, she don't. She don't have no sister. You know what I'm saying? No. She does not have a sister booty. I'm sorry. She never will. Like, it's just not possible. So anyway, I still like J-Lo's music. I like her acting. I do like her as an entertainer. I got a kick out of the article because I was like, maybe it was a slow news day that this is actually a big deal story. And anyway, I just thought it'd be fun to talk about. I do like J-Lo though. Okay, so SNL. Do you guys watch SNL? I haven't really. I watch it off and on if I know somebody that's gonna, guest musical host I want to see, but not like when I did back in the Eddie Murphy days. And do you all still watch it?
Huh?
You all still watch it?
I watch it periodically, probably like every now and then, especially if you say there was something funny on there. I go back and watch it.
Right. Anthony, you watch it?
Not really. I mean, I see the clips online. I think the last time I was really excited to watch SNL was when Eddie Murphy came back on to host. And I was excited. I think I texted you and was like, hey, the Eddie Murphy episode's on right now. So I mean, but no, I don't, SNL has never been one of those shows that I've followed religiously. It's like if it's on, it's on, or if it's like if I'm scrolling through YouTube, then, or like this Saturday, Dave Chappelle is hosting, and it's post-election, so of course I'll check it out then because I love Dave Chappelle. But it's got to be something there to really, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so in some news, Adele, who's lost a ton of weight, by the way, she looks fabulous.
Yes.
She was on SNL recently, and she and SNL come under fire. I guess, they did one of their sketches. Now we all know it's SNL. They're gonna push the envelope. They're gonna, go there. They did a sketch. I didn't see it. I didn't see it when it happened. I watched it on YouTube, and it was about Africa tourism, and they came under some fire because the sketch was about African sex tourism, to be more specific, and they had things like kind of these black men carrying the white woman, and the inferences were there, right? The connotations were there. Some of the myths about Black men and anatomy and things like that. And of course, people were like, whoa, crossing the line there, not okay. So, yeah, I watched it. I was like, well, okay. I see it, but it's SNL. And so my question for you guys is, I feel like now we've just become such an overly sensitive culture. I mean, for years, comedians and sketch TV shows, they did. If you go back and look, they've done some crazy stuff. I was watching some In Living Color reruns the other day, where they're talking about everyone from A to Z, gay, Black, Jewish, disabilities. They did these skits and people laughed, and it was, wasn't a big deal. But now it just seems like everyone is super, super sensitive about every little thing that, that comes out. Kevin Hart, you remember last year he was supposed to host the Oscars. Someone decided to dig up something he said about, gay people in one of his skits, and he ended up not hosting the Oscars. I just feel like we're just too damn sensitive now. Princess, what do you think?
So I actually did see it real time when it was on. And so when you and I had the back and forth, that's why I laughed out loud, because I skit, and quite frankly, I thought it was pretty hilarious. And then so we were just going over and watching it, and in the context of the article that critiqued it, I thought, oh, I feel like I should have had a different lens, but watching it, I thought it was too funny, right? And reading the article, I was like, I think it's a little bit of a stretch to say it was insensitive for the reasons that they cited as it being insensitive. So, like, yes, the sketch comedy does rely a lot on stereotypes. That's just kind of the way sketch comedy works, right?
Exactly.
And so if that's not your thing, you're always going to be offended by it. But in that particular case, I thought, you kind of a little bit, that's a leap. Take where, like, it's insensitive because of this other issue. I was like, I don't see the connection there.
Yeah, I agree. I felt the same. The other thing the articles mentioned is that they felt the timing wasn't great because they've got the big NSARS protests going on in Nigeria. So again, sketch comedy, comedians, they make light of these crazy things going on. K-Cee, you're nodding your head.
Totally. I mean, one thing about SNL from the beginning, they are an equal opportunity.
Yes.
They're going to offend whoever, whatever is hot.
Yep.
They had skits about Obama.
Yeah.
But even for them, their thing is, look, no one's off limits, but that's what makes them them. Because the thing is, we're trying to make sure that, we give everyone equal shine in that situation. So, like I said, when I first saw it, and I started, watching it, and I understand, I'm like, okay, yeah, they talking about, the brothers, and now. It was, but
I like the way he said the brothers.
Yeah, but once again, the reason why it's funny is because it's a comedy show.
Right.
You can't go to, it's like going to, you know, a comedy club, and all of a sudden, well, I'm offended.
Right. Right.
Well, if you're offended because the comedian started heckling you, don't go. If you don't like
exactly.
it, you can always change the channel.
Yeah. Anthony, what do you think? You think we're too sensitive as a culture now?
Absolutely. I mean, it gets to the point to where now, and if you know me, I love to post memes and stuff. It gets to the point to where now I'm like, can I post this where I have to second guess myself?
Yeah.
And so it's because, I mean, and it's like, you know, everybody's been saying, you know, sketch comedy is, our job is to make light of tough situations that are going on. Comedy is other people's problems viewed from across the street. So, but I'll tell you this right now, it's the person I hated that wrote that article criticizing that sketch. You would have hated Chappelle's show. That's for sure.
Right.
Oh, they would have hated Chappelle's show.
Right. Exactly.
They would have been, let me tell you something. There would have been a nationwide boycott for a Comedy Central boycott.
Yes.
Because Chappelle, he made fun of everybody. I mean, he had one of my favorite,
exactly.
one of the best sketches.
The Black Klansman, White Power.
No. I think personally, everybody says the Black Klansman. My favorite personally, excuse my language, was when he had the white family with the last name Niggers.
Yes.
That sketch right there, and you could tell he just had fun with it. And it's like, you know, it's like, you know, the person who critiqued that or does SNL, you would have hated that. So I think there are times where, you know, we do get too sensitive. I get when something is being deliberately offensive, but there are times where it's just like, look, we got to learn to laugh at ourselves. We got to learn to laugh at ourselves as a society. I mean, look what we're dealing with right now. Let me say something. If I saw SNL do a bunch of pandemic jokes, I'd laugh my butt off because I'm dealing with the pandemic. I'm working from home. Come on, comedy is always funny.
It's like, lighten up, people.
Well, exactly. So it's like this. Comedy is always funny when it's something you can relate to.
I'm going to say this from that episode. I recommend going back YouTube, the strolling to the polls.
Oh, okay. I gotta go.
Especially for us, Diva, from our generation.
Okay.
No. Okay.
Speaking of that, you know, speaking of that, one of the polls here, I saw they had a rap group out front, and they were, I mean, people, I think it was Cincinnati. They had, I heard, you know, I was watching the news. It was just, I think it was Channel 7. I heard music. I'm like, okay. I'm turning around. I'm like, they're outside the polls. Like, as people are walking in, they people are dancing, you know. And I was like, okay, voting has changed.
they did the same thing down in Georgia. Down in Georgia, I don't know if there was like down in Georgia, they because of the lines were so long.
Yeah.
They had music playing, people out there line dancing. And, because that thing was, we got to kill this time some kind of way.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Not kind of, you know, drive people away because of people. Because some people see a line and like, we out of here. We're just look, we gonna be here for a while.
Make it happen.
We're gonna have fun together.
Yes. That's okay. I gotta check that skit out. But you know what? I'm like, leave SNL alone. We need some laughter, damn it. You know, there's too much seriousness going on. We need to laugh. We need to breathe for a minute and just, you know, we gotta do it. Just to keep our sanity.
I was gonna say a funny SNL skit was actually from 4 years ago when Chappelle hosted, and him and Chris Rock are at like this election night party. And the two of them, so it's Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle. They're at like these like white friends' apartment complex, and they're watching the election. And white people are like trying to figure out like, why is it Trump is ahead? And they're like, well, the polls haven't closed yet. Well, black people got their votes in. Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle are like, yeah, that's the reason why the polls why Trump's ahead.
I'm gonna have to look up a couple of skits. You know, I gotta get back in them. Okay, we gosh, time goes fast. We only got about 6 minutes left. All right, I wanted to talk about, you know, I'm a big movie buff. You know, it's very hard to not be able to go to the movies now. They have open theaters back up. I've heard from a few people that, you know, hey, it's socially distant. And, there's seats apart and there's rows and da-da-da-da. Me personally, I'm gonna pay the $20 to watch it in the comfort of my home and the safety of my home, on demand. That's just me personally. But I want to kind of run down some of the more popular movies that we have to, wait on because of the whole pandemic. See if you guys are gonna, either chance going to the theater because it's coming to the next year. We don't know what's happening, or maybe the comfort of your own home. So the one that I was most excited about was Wonder Woman. I'm a huge Wonder Woman fan. As a kid, I have a Wonder Woman underoos. I thought I was Linda Carter back in the day. Wonder Woman will come out on Christmas Day. Okay. I don't know. It didn't say if it was going to be in theaters and on demand. I'm hoping on demand because I'm not going to be ready to go to the theater. That's just not going to do it. Not gonna do it. So Wonder Woman on Christmas. Jennifer Hudson playing Aretha Franklin. And when I heard that she was going to do the movie, I'm like, there's no one else that could pull this off. Her voice alone, and when you see her in some of the trailer, she looks a lot like her. That movie's called Respect. That's coming out in August next year, 2021. Speaking of Chris Rock, somebody mentioned Chris Rock just a few minutes ago. I think Anthony did. He's got a Saw movie coming out. So remember the movie Saw? There was like 6 of them, I think. This one's called Spiral, from the book Saw, and he plays a lead role, a detective, in the movie. He also executive produced the movie. That's coming out next year as well, in August. Let's see who else. This one surprised me. Tom Cruise is doing another Top Gun, and it's called Top Gun Maverick. July 2021. I don't know about I actually like Tom Cruise as an actor. I like him in like some of his movies. I do like him. I don't know if I'd want to see this. I don't know if I'd be interested in Top Gun.
That's like Top Gun Maverick is like Rocky 49.
He was super young when he did that movie. Like, it's like, how old is he now?
I mean, come on.
Well, you saw poor Rocky in the last couple of Creed movies. I'm like, Stallone, he bless his heart, he barely hangs on. He
was Creed.
But yeah,
the ring wanted to fight. Come on.
That's true. Oh yeah, Michael B. Jordan was the one doing the fight in that. Got a point. And last but not least, I know Anthony wanted to see this one, Candyman, remake of it by Jordan Peele, August 2021. So all these movies that were supposed to come out this year, unfortunately delayed, but I'm excited to see a few of them. Like I said, my pick is going to be Wonder Woman. You guys excited to see any of those or any others that I didn't mention that are coming out?
I didn't even know about the Aretha Franklin, Jennifer Hudson.
Yeah,
I'm definitely excited to see that.
Yeah,
and I like Jordan Peele very much. So even if I'm not really feeling, Candyman, I didn't. Right. But for Jordan Peele, the Jordan Peele appeal.
Exactly.
I see that.
Yeah.
I think he can do a good job with it. We'll have to see. But also another movie, The Batman, which if you follow the Twilight series, Robert Pattinson, who played Edward in Twilight, he's gonna be the new Batman. So that's gonna be interesting. And Anthony's putting on his creepy ass mask and the Joker mask.
Your profile picture freaks me the F out because
I hate that mask. It is the creepiest mask. It's kind of cool at the same time.
In the words of the Joker, go with the smile.
No, you need the Bane one. That's what you need. You need the Bane mask.
Here's the thing about Bane. Bane sounded so nasally. You got this big buff, 200-pound jacked like UFC fighter guy, and he's like, "Hello, I'm looking for." I'm like, what the hell?
Bane was like Elder Bar. I'm a man. I'm a grown.
That was Bobby.
Oh my god.
Elder Bar is rich. I'm a man.
Sound like Pinocchio. I'm a real boy, and I'm here to take over Gotham.
All right, before we have to wrap up, this has been so much fun. I could talk to you guys for hours, but we're gonna wrap up for now. We'll be back next month. Every first Thursday is what we're doing. Okay, once a month. I'm gonna see if I can maybe convince K-Cee to come back because I just think he's a good fit. But we'll have to check his schedule.
I second that vote. I
already know.
Yeah,
I've casted my ballot for that.
Yes.
I became submissive to her, and
Yes. I think it's just the cutest thing having the royal couple in the middle there. I love it. Okay, so real quick, let's rattle down now. I neglected to mention in the beginning, and forgive me, Princess. You host a show called Traveler's Guide to Venus and Mars, and tell the people where they can find that because they got to tune into that show.
Yes, ma'am. So we are now on 8 different podcast platforms. So
All right.
Everyone, thank you. Follow us on anchor.fm/princess-robin-presents. But you can find us on most of your favorite platforms. Follow us, subscribe, and tell us what you think. And this is a producer, so it's a team effort.
It's a team effort. I love it.
And by the way,
and we just recorded our
100th episode.
All right, congrats!
2-year anniversary of Traveler's Guide, and all of us have been on the show. Thank you for what you contributed to the success of the show. Thank you.
Congratulations, Princess. And I'm just gonna say I'm so proud of you because I watched you from inception to now, and I mean, you just soaring on up. I love it.
Your continued support. Yes. Thank you, sis.
Of course. K-Cee, now Confunction. Are you guys doing any virtual shows or what's going on?
We have a show coming up. Actually, next week we'll be in San Diego. I think it's Pablo Casino.
Oh, okay.
We'll be there in San Diego next week. And then there's some other dates that are coming up because I'm also a musical director for Howard Hewitt as well.
So, really? I love Howard.
We're going to hopefully kick back up. They're starting to open up like the city wineries.
Okay.
And doing that tour. Hopefully, sooner than later we'll be up in the Seattle area.
Yes.
Because he hasn't been up there in a long time, but COVID, is kind of.
Yeah, we just don't know, right? Yeah. Well, continued success, and just always sending good vibes and thoughts to all of our entertainers out there because it's tough for y'all right now, not being able to do the live shows.
Remember,
we never knew the word, so we just no.
Hey, you need to stop doing my songs like that now.
All right, and Anthony, where can we find you now? Anthony, I forgot to mention as well. We co-host a show called Urban World Talk on Tuesday nights. We actually didn't do this week because we figure everybody's gonna watch the election Tuesday night. Not even worth it. So we'll be back next week, normal time, 7:30, on Facebook, YouTube. But talk a little bit about that show, Anthony.
Yeah. So Urban World Talk is myself, you, and my buddy Terry Youngman. We do the show. We talk about everything from anything that's going on in entertainment to relationships to what's going on in the world. You can usually catch it every Tuesday at 7:30 on Facebook. You can catch up on past shows, facebook.com/Urban World Talk. And, I also DJ on the side too. So facebook.com/DJ Adams. And I miss doing DJ gigs. I'm not going to lie, but I'm being safe during COVID and I'm not doing any gigs at all. I won't be back till probably, if I'm lucky, mid 2021.
Yeah.
Depending on how this all goes.
Smart move. All right, peeps, you can hit me up anytime on Facebook, K-Cee Deeva, K-CEEDEVA, or on YouTube, K-Cee Deeva Shows. I'm going to post this show. If you came in late, you missed the beginning, I'm going to post it on YouTube. Also working on the Anchor thing, Princess. Thank you for hooking me up with that. So we'll be on some other platforms soon as well. Also, you can hit me up at K-Cee Deeva Show if you're on Twitter. I'm always tweeting. I watch 90 Day Fiance. That's my.
I do too.
Always got something to say about that show. But this has been so much fun. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you, Princess Robin. Thank you, KC. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, those watching. Thank you, people that commented. AC Soul. Shout out to Baby Bro, who also does my theme music. We'll be back next month, first Thursday of
December.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Wait, no, it can't be December.
That sounds
crazy.
Get your spiced eggnog ready.
It can't come soon enough. It can't come soon enough because I'm tired of 2020. I'm ready.
You didn't get the memo about 2020, did you? You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave.
You know what?
I'm messing with y'all.
On that note, I am excited to see you guys again next month. I'm just gonna leave you with my little trailer here so you don't forget us. All right, peeps, until next month. Later.
Later.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Click your neighbor.